Swach Namaskaram and Jai Hind to you. My name is Major Shivakiran. I am from Hyderabad, born and brought up here. I studied in the grammar school at Abbots, then went on to do my graduation in the Indian Institute of Management and Commerce. Then after graduation, normally a commerce graduate generally looks to a career in as a company secretary, a chartered accountancy. It was a little difficult for me because I had played cricket for the university in my final year. I was more into sports. Then at that time, the Combined Defence Service exam happened. I happened to write that exam, and then I would say I was surprised when I was selected by the Services Selection Board for a commission in the Indian Army. Initially, it was a short service option. So, for I would also say due to lack of options, and then seeing very few people from Hyderabad actually coming in to join the services. I joined services at that time. This was around 1988. And then after training at the Officers Training Academy, was commissioned into the Indian Army in 1989. I served in the Indian Army from 89 to 1995, being posted at different locations in Jammu Kashmir, at Dehradun, at Bareilly, Rajouri and Poonch, at various other locations. I was in the Army Service Corps, and after having left the Army, I was always wanting to get back to Hyderabad and be on my own here. When I came back, there were a lot of options for me. I was wanting to be on my own. One of the areas that beckoned was Geographic Information System. My dad was in Survey of India, so it was a natural thing for me to look at maps as a way of development process or get involved with maps as an activity. As I was getting into this zone of being professionally employed in mapping and GIS, I noticed that there were a lot of issues in the area where I stayed in Begumpet. It was not a clean area. There was garbage all around, and the whole system seemed to have issues. I started investigating a little bit more into how the system works. Who collects the garbage? How much do we generate? Where does it go? Then it was a life-changing experience for me that I began to realize more things about waste management, about garbage, the people who are involved with collecting garbage. It's then that I started this NGO called Sukuki Exnora around the year 2000 and started cleaning up the area in Begumpet. That's when and how I got involved with the Municipal Corporation of Hyderabad then, now Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. And I started working more and more in the area of solid waste management, got exposure into the areas of environment issues, water, air and issues like that. But solid waste was something which really, I would say, got me involved. We started with getting a small rickshaw to collect our door-to-door garbage collection from our homes. And then I drove a garbage truck into the dump yard at Jawahar Nagar to find out how garbage is handled. And then started talking to people about the need for segregation, about the need for composting, about the need for recycling, and also trying to bring all the people, the rack pickers, the waste collectors into a single forum. Noticing this, I got more involved with the bureaucrats who were managing waste, managing the city, and at the same time got involved with the civil society of Hyderabad. A little bit later, I will speak more on the civil society part. But as in solid waste, knowing that solid waste is a difficult area, not being recognized enough at that point of time, in the year 2007, we started an All India event called Clean India, wherein we tried to bring in all the people involved with waste management onto one forum. And Hyderabad was the center for this. We continue to do the Clean India event, which began in 2007, and it offers a platform for practitioners in solid waste management, for people who are actively involved with solid waste management, to come to one place and talk about solid waste management, not in generic terms about the environment, but typically solid waste management. Then we also started giving away awards called the Greenleaf Awards to people who started, who were doing exceptional work in this area, starting from the waste collector to the deputy commissioners, to the additional commissioners, to the municipal commissioners, to the companies, to the NGOs. There are a lot of people who work in all this, in this sector. So we did that work. Swachh Bharat, when it happened in 2014, it was a godsend for people like us that, okay, here was an opportunity to get more involved and get involved. And then the Prime Minister was offering us an opportunity to work at a different scale. But then with Swachh Bharat, the whole idea of sanitation got into a different business mode. Earlier it was in the service sector. Only NGOs were more involved with it. Right now it's in the business segment. So we've withdrawn a little bit in that sector. But during the process of this journey of solid waste and environment, I also managed to acquire academic credentials. I pursued my PhD in development studies using geographic information system for micro level management. And then as it happened, we started working with civil society. We thought at that point of time there's a need to have a voice for the civil society. The Resident Welfare Association, as we thought, was one common bond which brought people together in respective communities. So what we did at that time, I would say around 2007, was bring all these welfare associations of Hyderabad together under the banner of UFERWAS, United Federation of Resident Welfare Associations. I, along with a handful of social activists, got together and brought out this, formed, I would say, constituted the United Federation of Resident Welfare Associations. Our objective was that we seek partnership opportunities with the civic agencies, which primarily include the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, the Metro Water Board, the police, the electricity department, and so on. So we used to organize meetings wherein all these people would be brought on one forum and citizens would be on the other side, and problems could be sorted out. We wanted to be part of the development process. Our effort in that direction continues. And today, I'm happy to tell you that in the year 2013, when we were, after about 7 years of working at Hyderabad, the idea came about that why don't we start a national forum of welfare associations. That's when the Confederation of Resident Welfare Associations was formed. We invited everybody across the country from various RWAs, Resident Welfare Associations, to Hyderabad, and began this nationwide, national level forum, which today has a voice even at the national level. Every development activity you talk of, they all talk of involving the resident welfare associations. So that's been a contribution of Hyderabad, and our journey, my involvement in this for the last 20 years has been a continuous one, which looks as a positive side. It's easy to criticize the government and say a lot of things are not being done. But then as a citizen, what is it that we can do has always been our area of interest. And that effort will continue. And from time to time, we've had some bureaucrats who would encourage us more, who would cooperate with us more, who would interact with us more. So whenever that phase was there, when interaction was much better, we could do much more on the ground. Where sometimes the civic chiefs were not so keen on involving with us, the interaction was limited. But being in Hyderabad, I know there are a lot of people and citizens from Hyderabad who are like me, who want to be part of the development process. As I see now in our respective wards, now Hyderabad, as you know, has an area of about 625 square kilometers with about 150 wards. The Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, which was formed in 2007, as a system of democratizing the grassroots, involving people, the ward committees were supposed to be formed. But somehow they have not been very successful. So we have been suggesting to the government at different fora at various levels that if we could involve professionals, citizens who have background in various aspects, it could be environment, it could be policing, it could be education, whatever be it, different fields, and you could have strategies people coming out with strategies so that this could become part of the policy. This is what we've been suggesting. Maybe a city advisory council, bringing people from various disciplines, professionals. This is something that we would like the government to look at. But coming down to the ward level, what I spoke to you just now was the city level. At the ward level, even though the ward committees were supposed to be constituted, it did not happen. Now, right now we hear a new municipal policy coming about, or Minister K.T. Ramarao Garu has spoken about this, that there are going to be 4 different committees of youth, women, senior citizen and eminent citizens. And this, he said, having 25 members each would be a 100-member body at a ward level, and 100 into 150 wards, about 15,000 of them who would play an advisory role in contributing to the city's development. We welcome this opportunity, and I think if this works, then the city would have a vibrant civil society where we can contribute. The problem has been that people in the government, we do not have a channel to speak to them. Even though we keep working in our respective areas wherever we are, as RWAs, as small communities, we've set up models which are working, which are functional, which are responsive to the community needs. But somehow the government, the so-called political structure has not given us, I would say, a window or forum to contribute. Maybe this will happen as it gains ground now, and we look forward to this opportunity. As far as the environment of Hyderabad is concerned, see, when we talked of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, it began in 2014. But as you see, it is seen as a BJP program. So if that program could be seen as cutting across government lines, cutting across political affiliations, if that can be seen as a national agenda, then we would be much better off. Today, if you see Hyderabad and compare it with a city like Indore, see, in Swachh Sarvekshan, which is some kind of a validation of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Indore scores well, and Indore is the #1 city in the country. When people like us have gone to Indore, and the minute you step into Indore, it looks very clean. And why it has happened is people have been involved at every level. Now, how do you involve people? Today, when I ask somebody on the street, do you know what is your ward number? Do you know whom to contact if you have to talk about a garbage issue or a water issue? So, over a period of time, a trust deficit has happened. Now, we have to raise a level of confidence in the people that here is a responsive government which will respond to your needs, respond to your concerns. The people involvement somehow has been lacking. I think that's where we need to put in more effort, see what can be done from a strategizing point of view, how people can be involved in the governance issues. Let me take two examples which have happened recently. One is the corona virus, which started in March. Since then, people like us have been looking at opportunities to volunteer for the city. So it began in March, then the government had policies regarding testing centers, and a lot of issues came about, and a lot of us were confined during lockdown days to our homes. But what after that? We've been talking to, making a lot of efforts, trying to interact with the government, with the health ministry. We wanted to be involved in the management of this kind of a situation. We wanted to volunteer at the Gandhi Hospital, various other locations. We wanted to know where are the testing centers. We wanted to have mobile testing centers in our respective areas. We wanted information that if somebody tests positive in our areas, how can we handle, how can we give confidence? Till now, this is about 7-8 months, the government has not been able to share with us the information that we said we would be able to handle. See, so the point about what I'm trying to make out here is that the gap, that we want to participate in governance and somehow the government maybe doesn't want us. So where do we come in? Where do we bridge the gap? That's a question. So if the citizens are allowed to participate in the city's decision making, city's governance, it's our feeling that better things will happen, where a global city vision is being promoted or projected for Hyderabad. That will happen. But if, let's say, in a political structure, you have a corporator, you have an MLA, you have an MP. So our reach to all these people somehow is limited. There is a certain segment of population which is very comfortable with these, let's say, so-called political hierarchy. But what about the educated middle class? So we feel there is a need for a forum where a regular interaction with this segment should happen, and whereby the quality of life in the city would become much better. As we're speaking of the corona pandemic, see, the trust thing is important. The government could have shared with us the numbers, where it is happening, how we could be part of it. So volunteering is something which I feel the city needs to encourage. There are a lot of people, I would say, citizens of various walks of life, who would like to participate in the city's development process, address city's problems, contribute. So that has to be encouraged. Recent rains, if you see, while we have been talking of why the rains happen and the causes, and maybe trying to find out how this can be. Now, a lot of people like us, even if we want to contribute, we've been just glued to our televisions. We've not been on the ground. A lot of our messages to the municipal commissioner, to concerned officials, saying that we are available in various locations. Do tell us what we can do for you. Can we look after some area? Can we adopt some area? Do you need food in some area? Primarily, I think one fact is being forgotten, that we are the primary stakeholders of this city. Politicians may come and go, bureaucrats may come and go. If today you ask me, who was your last mayor? Nobody would know. So these guys keep coming, keep changing. So the point here I'm trying to make out is the primary stakeholder of the city needs to be included in the decision making process, in whatever the city wants. What are our aspirations? What do we seek? Does anybody ask us? That's a question which people like us have always been talking about, and just not just me, a lot of people across. So when we talk of the sectors of the government where maybe there's a need to look at. One could be the health sector. Now, if you see, the corona pandemic has thrown up a lot of, I would say, new situations, as they say, a new order, a new normal. Going to hospitals, earlier on, the corporatization of medical healthcare. Now, we dread to get to a hospital. The kind of stories that go around saying that for a corona, you need to pay 10 lakh deposit and things like that. One of the things which happened, let me share with you, was when I was in the Administrative Staff College of India for a short time, and we took a team from Hyderabad to visit Delhi. They had a look at the Mohalla clinics in Delhi. That was a trigger to set up the Basti Davakhanas here in Hyderabad. So such a nice thing happened when we went there and saw that, and it's been replicated. Now look at the Basti Davakhanas. They are centers where it's like a primary health center, wherein you can go for a regular checkup, minor ailments like fever, cough, cold, virtually at the free of cost. Now versus that to a corporate sector like maybe different hospital which you have all around. So the point is, do we have enough trust and faith in the healthcare infrastructure? I don't think we have. That needs to be strengthened. But the policy here is, when you allow a lot of corporatization of healthcare, at the same time have Basti Davakhanas, I don't think it's going to work. You need, because even in the Bastis, if you ask people, where do you want to go? He would so easily, or he or she would say, let me be taken to an Apollo or a Yashoda rather than a Basti Davakhana. So governance would mean investing in healthcare. That should be, certain things cannot be corporatized, cannot be made into a business kind of thing. Healthcare, education and environment. These three factors cannot be given out to the private sector. So as I said, in the healthcare sector, a lot of us would like to be involved in management of the primary healthcare centers wherever they exist. As of now, most of us are still unaware where is our nearest PHC. We would like more of that to happen, and confidence building should happen in that. So that is one sector which concerns our life and living. So I feel government should invest more in that, involve residents more in that, find out what we can do and strengthen the infrastructure. The second has been the education. Now you talk of schools, colleges and professional courses. Again, the corporatization has happened. Nobody can talk of going to a government school or a government education, I would say, infrastructure system. So we need to be looking at, in the education sector also, what are the new programs which can provide employment to our youngsters. What can now, even when you talk of education, it is a private enterprise which has taken over. So where is the governance? I spoke of healthcare, we speaking of education. So everywhere it's a private enterprise. Now what does the government do? Government regulates. Does government provide the infrastructure for government to be involved in these two important sectors is what we've been asking. The third sector is the environment. Now environment, very, very important. When we talk of environment, we're talking of air, water, soil. Hyderabad is still better than if you compare with other cities like Delhi and kind of. But then we've managed our city very badly in terms of, you see, at one time at point of time, the number of water bodies that we used to have and where we have come down to. Today, when we speak of the floods that are happening, the urban flooding, everybody is saying the water bodies have been encroached upon and built upon. The water is not going. So who is to be blamed for all this? Somebody has to be responsible. Have you given a chance for civil society to be involved? You have not. Now the point is, if you politicians keep on blaming their predecessors, is that a solution? Now we talk of the development agenda being taken to the tier 2 cities in Telangana and smaller places. It is not happening. Everybody wants to come to Hyderabad. So we've somehow not been able to do that. So when everybody wants to come to Hyderabad, Hyderabad has its limitations. Hyderabad being, as I said, 625 square kilometers, absorb a population of 1 crore. Can we take more than that? We see cities like Mumbai, Delhi also crumbling today. So Hyderabad has to have some kind of a threshold to say, beyond this, it cannot take. So we need to stop it there somewhere and see how we can manage. So that, I must say, we've miserably failed. And unless we involve civil society, explain to people what is needed in the city, the political will has to be there, the bureaucratic decision making process has to be there, then only this will happen. So when you talk of environment, without environment there is no economics. A lot of people say there has to be a balance between economics and environment. No. If there is no environment, there is no economics. And the corona crisis has shown us that your health is more important than economy. So the fact remains is, to support economy, a good environment is needed. And when you talk of environment, air, water, soil, the physical components are very important. But along with it, what makes a city like Hyderabad is very, very important. The social ecosystem, the security aspects in Hyderabad, the police. Do we still, they say we are a friendly police. How many of us can today walk into a police station and say we have an issue with something happening in our area? Still a problem. We've had water, the water is much better now. Like I said, the air in Hyderabad, in let's say look like examples of China and other places where the air got worsened and then they adopted certain strategies. Can we learn from them? In China today, every citizen through a mobile phone has a system of measuring the air quality. Can we not do that? We need to do that. When we say technology, see, we can have the tea hubs, etc., whatever happening in western part of Hyderabad. But what we see is that technology not really coming onto the ground level to make things work for Hyderabad. Today, Hyderabad attracts talent from across the country. Different, I would say people who want employment from Bihar, Orissa, North, all of them come to Hyderabad. But the point remains is when Hyderabad is becoming a technology hub, we are proud of the things Hyderabad at least projected in terms of IT exports, but that IT development is not moving on to the city's governance. I think that is a thing which needs to happen. And as long as we have a lopsided model of development, it will be difficult to sustain. We need, as I said, the political mandate, we need the bureaucratic will, we need the citizens' participation. And I'm sure when we have these three things together and work in the sectors of health, environment, education, we have a winning proposition. Hyderabad is a model in terms of, it enjoys a lot of locational advantages, weather advantages, the cosmopolitan nature of Hyderabad. You can speak in Hindi, Telugu, English and still survive in Hyderabad. And the cost of living is still very cheap in Hyderabad. So all the advantages are there. So we should not lose that advantage that we have. So when such things happen, when the floods happen once in a while, it reflects poorly on the entire city administration. But we should learn from them. We should not allow these things to be repeated again and again and then keep on saying that this will happen one-off kind of thing. The city has to be prepared for the worst kind of scenarios. The resilience, as they say, the city has to bounce back. And how will it bounce back? When people of the city are involved. So if the people of the city are not involved, I again repeat that it may not be a sustainable model. The elections to the GHMC are just about to happen. So this is a good time to show the city that you are responsible. And how do you show that? You vote. Unless you vote, you can't bring about change. A lot of times when we talk of the percentage of voting, it's around 40-45%. People give excuses. That's a time then you have a chance to change what is happening, make a difference to the political establishment. So this is a chance for you to contribute. So please take that chance. And what our Federation of RWAs is doing is trying to bring in debates at a ward level, participate in them. When the electoral list is announced, make that effort, go and check if your name is there or not. If it is not there, see that your name is enrolled, and election day, do elect. Find out more about your candidates. A lot of times I hear the social service activity or the welfare activity is only for the senior citizens. It is not. It's a continuous process. You could be in college, you could be working. Take time out for the community, contribute. That's a way you can contribute and create a much better Hyderabad than that we have. As part of the UFERWA's initiative in trying to ensure that the governance becomes more responsible, what we are doing is at a ward level, we are trying to find out from the citizens what are their concerns, what are the issues that need to be addressed, so that we can bring it to the notice of the ward contestants and find out what is the response. We are happy that HYBIS is partnering with us in this initiative, bringing out the concerns of the citizens, and it is media channels like HYBIS which will highlight the challenges that the citizens face, the city faces, and contributing that way. So we need to join hands with such media houses so that we become a better city and the vision of a global city happens. Thank you, HYBIS.